You're right, guys. This is going to be a fight review on Saturday night's fight between Fedor Emelianenko and Dan Henderson. I bought the fight in the end. I usually just watch streams, but I bought this fight. So I was watching it in good quality, and I think I've seen what really happened. I think I had a better view, to be honest, than Herb Dean really had. There's going to be loads of debate, there's going to be loads of arguments about what happened, people's opinions on whether he was knocked out, whether it was a flash knockout, whatever. My personal opinion is that it possibly was a flash knockout, I don't know. But my personal opinion is he fell on his face after getting clipped by that awesome uppercut by Henderson, and he was already turning to defend himself when Herb Dean stepped in. I think Herb Dean did step in a little bit too early. He could have just waited for a couple more strikes and see if Fedor was defending himself. You know, they say that if you're intelligently defending yourself, then you're still in the fight. And he was just about to intelligently defend himself after getting hit, and the fight was already called. You know, he'd hit Henderson onto his bum just beforehand. Henderson, because Herb Dean could see his face, was clearly not out. He was barely even rocked. I think if Fedor had been hit and had gone backwards, landed on his back, I don't think the fight would have been ended, and that's my personal opinion. I do not think the fight would have been ended if he'd fallen onto his back instead of his face, and therefore I think he got robbed of a chance to perhaps mount a comeback there. I was really impressed with the speed that the two of them came out at. You know, it was a great round-long fight. I just wish it had lasted another round at least. You know, I hope Fedor's not going to retire. He's going home to see his daughter, his newborn daughter, which I respect. I just hope he does come back and fights in light heavyweight for a bit. I think that's the best we've seen him in a while. You know, he pushed an excellent pace, and he just got unlucky. And you know, I think Henderson would have won the fight. Henderson did look better. He looked crisper. You know, Fedor was kind of relying on just catching him with some kind of crazy haymaker punch there. He was just kind of swinging for the fences. But he could have clipped him, you never know. We know he's got great jiu-jitsu if it went to the ground or something. Yeah, I do think the stoppage was a bit early. That's my personal opinion there. As for the other fights, I think Paul Daly got completely outclassed. You know, I think he was outclassed in every area of the game, and even in the striking, he didn't look particularly any better. You know, fairly equal, to be honest, in the striking. Miesha Tate, as I thought, won the bantamweight, I think it was, in the women's division. She looked really good. She never looked like she was in any danger of losing that fight, in my opinion. So, yeah, thanks for listening, guys. As I say, I personally think that Fedor was robbed a bit there. I do think he would have lost the fight in the end, but he could have at least been given a little bit longer. I'll probably be uploading another video soon. Cheers.